because I've learned through time that you don't have to make more money if you control your expenses. I make the same amount of money that I've been making for the last 3, 4, 5 years, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. However, I have a different lifestyle now because I got rid of my debt. And so instead of, we are typically constantly trying to make more money. We want to get to 6 figures. We want to get to 7 figures. And that's great. But if you don't know how to control your budget, you're going to be in the same circumstance that you were in when you were making 30 or 50,000 struggling because you continue to buy. Yo, what is going on, family? Welcome back to the channel. It is the first of the month. We reached another month. We must be grateful for getting to that point because some people did not make it to the first of the month again. Welcome, welcome, welcome again. If you guys haven't already done so, please subscribe, comment, share, and like this video. All right, so I've been doing this for the last few months in regards to making videos on the first of the month, talking about looking at your expenses from last month. I've been encouraging you guys to make sure that you have downloaded or uploaded, whatever term it is, some kind of app in order to track your expenses. Or you can write them down if you want to, if that's easier for you, using like an Excel spreadsheet or actually writing them down, okay? Very, very, very important. And it's that time again to go over the expenses. So last month, I talked about starting like a little challenge, and I got a little bit of feedback, and so I do want people to be encouraged to follow along or to jump on this challenge and make sure that we're being financially responsible, okay? And once you're financially responsible, again, it frees you up to do what you want to do. You don't have to be as responsible because now you have money that you can put towards whatever you want to, okay? So typically, I talk about finances and making sure that we are maybe not spending over a certain amount, or, I look at the actual number figures as opposed to looking at a percentage. So we don't all make the same money. I know people who make way more money than I do, and I know some people who are on their way to make the money that I make, okay? Because you guys are going to get there just like I got there, okay? And not making it seem like it's a lot of money, but you can live comfortably depending on your circumstances, okay? Your debt, of course, kids and other things, okay? Okay, so I've showed you guys the app that I used before. I'm going to show you again. So this is the app that I use, Money Manager. It is on my phone, it is yellow and it has a pig in the middle with the coin going into the back of it, okay? Now, I encourage someone to download this app as well, and they have an iPhone. On their phone, it's red as opposed to being yellow. So Money Manager, if it has the same icon, it may be a different color, but I think it's a wonderful app to use, okay? Again, everyone is going to have different goals. And so as I've mentioned for you guys, I have a goal in which I can save about 45% of my income per month. And my second goal, and maybe I should have one as a goal and one as a target. You may not always hit your goal, but it's important that you hit your target. And there is a difference, right? And so my target, although my goal is to save 45% of my income, my target is to make sure that I am saving more money than I am spending on anything else. Now, let me explain what that means. Looking at my expenses here, and again, this app isn't to help you make more money. It's to help you control your expenses, because I've learned through time that you don't have to make more money if you control your expenses. I make the same amount of money that I've been making for the last 3, 4, 5 years, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. However, I have a different lifestyle now because I got rid of my debt. And so instead of, we are typically constantly trying to make more money. We want to get to 6 figures. We want to get to 7 figures. And that's great. But if you don't know how to control your budget, you're going to be in the same circumstance that you were in when you were making 30 or 50,000 struggling because you continue to buy. So if you don't control your expenses, it doesn't matter how much money you make, because you're gonna go get the new Mercedes, you're gonna go get the new Corvette because you start making more money. And then you make even more money, you get to making $200,000-300,000 a year, let's say, and then you're like, oh, I can get this Ferrari, I can get this, whatever it may be, okay? So again, learning how to control your budget and controlling your expenses is much more important than making more money. Not to say money is not important, but it can go just as fast as when you had 30 or 50,000, and you can struggle the same way making 6 figures if you don't know how to control your money, okay? So my target is always to make my savings my biggest expense, okay? That's not to say that out of all of the money I spend, that I'm going to save more than all of the money I spend, but there are different categories that I have, okay? Let me show you guys some of my categories, and hopefully it does show on the screen. Okay? So this here is how I have mine set up, okay? I'm going to become a hand puppet here. So I have food, which of course is me eating out. I have my bills, which of course I use. My car is going to be any maintenance or anything I need to do to my car. I include car washes. I include air fresheners. Anything small. Entertainment is if I go to a comedy show or something like that. Shopping is if I go buy any clothes or shoes. Health is going to be if I pay any deductibles or whatever it may be. Or for example, last month I had to go to the dentist, and so I recorded that. Beauty is if I have to buy any facial cream or facial moisturizer. That's typically what that is. I don't really buy electronics. Snacks is going to be me going to the store and spending $3 or $4 on tea or on chips or whatever it may be. Social I don't use, and so I could take that out. Travels, if I go anywhere. Savings, I try to make that my biggest, okay? So you guys get the general idea of where I'm going. Now here it shows add. If you want to, you can add different items to your expenses, and then you have, so you can hit that button, expenses, and you have your income, okay? So you can put, so I have mine set up with salary, awards, grants, refunds, whatever, okay? Now I can take some of this stuff out as well. I have a part-time job. Sometimes I get tips. Salary, I put my part-time and full-time job there. Refunds, if I have to take something back and get money back. I mean, I record every single expense, okay? So speaking of recording every single expense, I'm going to show you this here. Yesterday, I spent $1 on a lighter. $1, okay? To some people, it's just $1. Who cares? But I had to train myself that every dollar matters, and that way I can get a good representation of the money that I am spending, okay? So once I know what I'm spending, I can track trends, right? So I've been using this app since August of 2018. I know my trends. I know in the summertime I spend more money because I'm out and about and I'm trying to have more fun. When I had the Mustang and when I had my bike, I was spending more money on gas, etc. Okay? I also know that in the wintertime I save way more money, and it shapes my mind to know that I can save money that I never thought would be imaginable. Okay? We all think about making more money. But as we think about making more money, do we think about the money that we'll be able to save? Or do we think about the things that we can buy? I've always been the latter. I've always said, oh, when I start making 6 figures, I can get this car. Or when I start making this kind of money, I can do this or do that. But we don't talk about savings in order to get to that point. So for this month, let's get into it, the nitty gritty, okay? So for this month, I was able to save 22% of my income. Again, I don't like to save a lower amount that way, but it was also my biggest expense, and so I had a little fun this month, just like last month. But also, we talked about tracking trends. I know that this is the 2nd month in a row of me not hitting my goal and only hitting my target, right? So I need to get back to my goal, okay? My second biggest expense came right after my biggest expense of savings. My other miscellaneous expenses came in at 21%. That's a lot, and I did something similar last month, okay? I made the previous video about the gun, and so I bought the gun this month, or I paid for the gun this month in August. I took a class, and then everything else was just small things that just added up. We know things add up. So going back to the whole $1. Now this is a little bit extreme, but we know that we spend $20 here, $30 there, $40 there. that starts to add up after a while. You can do that in one day, and then before you know it, you've spent $200-300, right? So we want to make sure that we keep track of every little thing, okay? So then my third biggest expense are my bills. Now, I like that to be my second biggest expense, especially when I'm hitting my goal, because that tells me that I am saving more money and not spending as much money. When my bills are my second biggest expense, that means that any other category is going to be less than $1,000, and I'm not spending senseless money, or whatever it may be. Okay, so bills came in as number 3, and then everything drops down. The next category is food, and that's typically my third or maybe fourth category. Right here it is my fourth, but sometimes it's my third when I'm really saving good money. Okay, so again, I want you guys to share how your month was. You don't have to go into detail. As you see, I didn't really give any numerical amounts except for my bills being $1,000 or less than 1,000, around 1,000. But let me know how much you're saving, and let me know, they say you should invest 15% of your income. Let me know if you guys are investing, if you're saving, what you're doing in order to get on the right path financially. All right? You guys have a wonderful day. Let's get on this challenge. Let's get this money right, and then we can do the things that we want to, okay? You guys have a wonderful day. Peace.